Hey guys, how is it going? I hope everyone is doing well wherever you are in the world. So, we are going to do Aries, Taurus, and Gemini in this video, and they are all going to be general readings so they can cover anything like, for example, love, work, health, money, etc. All right. They are also all timeless readings since time is fluid and relative, so they may resonate at different times for different people. But we're going to go with the general time frame of August 28th through September 28th. So we're doing a 4.5 to 5 week time period. All right. And so when we are on each card, I'll talk about the time frames again as a rough kind of example. Okay, so Aries, I pulled all of your cards here, and we're going to get us in start. We're going to get started in a few minutes once I figure out how to talk. Good times, yes. And I've already taken your picture of your card, Aries. So if you want to later after the live, once I post it, if you want to get a hold of that and look at it to see it more up close in detail, or just look at it later, all you have to do is click in the description box below after the live, and I will be posting all of the different zodiac signs photos of their cards. Okay, and also after the live I will be posting timestamps for before the shuffling or after the shuffling. Not for you Aries, just because I did it already ahead of time just to save some time. All right, but for everyone else, if they want to just watch one sign or they don't want to watch the shuffling, then they can make that choice. All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do a little sound bell here to focus and just turn into the Aries energy. All right, so just be aware if you're listening with headphones or if sound is more sensitive to you, that sometimes it can be a little loud for a little bit, but it won't be for too long. So, all right. And if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just relax and don't worry about your breathing. All right, whatever works for you. All right, so Aries. All right. Okay. So again, I hope everyone's doing all right. So let's get into your reading here, Aries. We'll go ahead and call out the cards here, and we'll talk about the placements. We are using two different decks, and at the very end, we have a little one oracle card for you. All right, so Aries, you have the King of Swords in the reverse position. You have the Star in the right side up position. You have the Four of Staves, also known as Four of Wands, in the right side up position. And you have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position. So let's break it down, right? So we're going to say that for this first top row, these four cards can correspond, they can, right? It's not exact, to about a week's time or so. Okay, so the first card is going to be last week, right? So from August 27th through September 3rd or so. And then the second card, the second week, is the week we're in now where I'm filming this, right? So we're saying from around September 4th through September 13th. The third card can be from around September 14th through September 22nd. And the fourth card can be from around September 23rd through September 28th, okay? And I didn't call out all of the cards, I just called out the first main four. So we'll go over the other ones as we go through the reading in the way that Spirit wanted me to talk to you about them, all right? So really quickly here too, let's talk about the zodiac signs that show up here in your reading for those people who are interested. And we're only going to do it for the major arcanas just to save some time, right? But we do have the Star card here, so that's Aquarius energy for you, Aries. We do have the Magician, so Gemini, Sagittarius. And that's pretty much it, okay? Because you really only have two major arcanas. Nothing's wrong with that. It's just interesting to know. So for some people, you could be dealing with a sun sign Aquarius, right? Or a sun sign Gemini, a sun sign Sagittarius, or you could have a lot of those signs predominantly in your own birth chart or the other person if it's one other person, or it could be also for the last thing if it hasn't resonated so far, right? It could be referencing a time frame, right? So Aquarius season coming up for this year, or Aquarius season last year, Gemini season that we already went through this year, or Gemini season coming up for next year. Same thing for Sagittarius, okay? But it doesn't necessarily have to resonate. So if it doesn't, that's okay. Just put it aside, right? Just only take the parts that make sense to you, since it is a general reading. All right. So we start off with, remember how I was talking about your first card, which was last week or so, right? That King of Swords in the reverse position. So Aries, this is really your only energetic blockage in your reading, okay? Because all rest of your cards are very positive and for momentum and nice to see, right? So we'll kind of just pick up from the first card, of course, okay? Now, what is to note, right? If people are not already aware, we do have starting tomorrow Mercury going backwards, okay, the beginning of Mercury retrograde. So for some of the readings that I've done, other zodiac signs for this time period, I was seeing more of an energetic blockage in the second week when it officially starts, right, this week, tomorrow. Okay, but for some people, it could happen before because we have pre-shadow and then we have post-shadow of the original, not the original, of the actual Mercury retrograde, right? So some people can feel it weeks in advance, some people feel it during that time, or some people even feel it after, right? So it is different for everybody. But let me go ahead and show you this card, all right? So this is your first card here, Aries, the King of Swords in the reverse position. Now, when we talk about your first card, and also can be true throughout your whole reading, we're picking up energy from the recent past. And the recent past will be different for everybody. Could be a couple of days ago, hours, weeks, months, years, right? It could be that this reading here, and all the readings I do, are about you, Aries, or about the person you're dealing with, or multiple people, general environment situations. So again, apply it to how it may resonate for you. Now, with this King of Swords in the reverse position here, Aries, again, it's a little bit of an energetic blockage. It could be that there's some type of mental confusion, and possibly for some Aries, or again, someone you're dealing with in your general environment, that there's a lot of emotions that are causing this mental confusion, anxiety, worry, overthinking with that King of Swords in the reverse position, okay? And for some of you, it could have something to do with the Mercury retrograde, but it doesn't necessarily have to doesn't necessarily have to deal with that, okay? But we just like to mention it, because it does affect some of us more so than others, right? Now, Aries, you are one of the signs that I've been reading about is going to perhaps have a more difficult time for some, not everybody, during this Mercury retrograde season, because it was talking about, and I'll try to find the link again and post it in the description box below after or in the comments, about how a lot of the fixed signs, not the mutable signs, but the fixed signs, we're going to have possibly more of a harder time with this Mercury retrograde, okay? But even though you're kind of like a fixed and a mutable because you're fire, so again, it kind of just depends on how much Aries you have in your chart, okay? So if you're a sun sign Aries or rising sign Aries, or even have your moon in Aries, that could apply for you. But for the rest of us, where we have Aries somewhere in our chart, because we do have all 12 zodiac signs in each of our birth charts, it maybe not feel as much, right? Okay, but let's kind of go back into maybe perhaps why this card showed up in the reverse position here for you, Aries. So we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of the other tarot deck that we're going to be using to get more insight, and then we'll go forward with the rest of your reading, okay? So the top and the bottom is always energy from the past, the recent past, right? Again, whatever that means for you. And I've been calling them the sponsor cards, right? So these cards sponsored and made it possible for that King of Swords in the reverse position to show up in the future, current, present energies, possibilities, and these again are past. So what we have is the Magician and the right side up position here that showed up at the the top of this tarot deck for you. And then we have the Five of Wands in the reverse position that showed up at the bottom of the deck here for you, okay? So it looks like here, Aries, that perhaps even though there was this manifestor energy with the Magician here, there was somebody that was very confident, that felt like they had all the tools they needed, or it was an energy, if it wasn't necessarily a person or you, right? That felt like they had all the tools that they needed, and they were really great at manifesting their reality, whatever they wanted in their world, okay? But despite that going on, there was some kind of other energy here, or another person, or another aspect to a person here, Aries, where somebody was taking life a little bit too seriously, and they were not using their support system. They were not relying on enough their romantic partner, their friends, family, mental health care worker, one of those, all of those, whatever it is, okay? And that's kind of why we see, again, in the future, current, present energies, that King of Swords in the reverse position, okay? That, again, a lot of emotions being around affecting someone's mental clarity, or having, because of a lot of the emotions, having more anxiety, worry, overthinking, that kind of thing, okay? But this is a small energetic blockage. We all have them from time to time. Of course we do, right? So like I was saying before, the rest of your reading here, Aries, seems very positive, right? So I wouldn't worry too much about just that one card in the beginning here. So moving forward, now we're on to your second card, the second week where we're at now, right? And we have the star energy, Aquarius energy, right? So again, just to show you, you go from the King of Swords in reverse to now the star in the right side up position. So now the energy is moving along. It's more progress, right? It's more positive energy. It is about having hope for the future, about using creativity and passion, and having things to look forward to in the future, right? So this woman down here, this Native American woman, is transmuting the emotions, the water, to have it influence her and help her in a positive way, okay? So there is a lot of intuitive energy in this card as well, right? So it's not necessarily Pisces energy, it's Aquarius energy, but it is just as creative, right, as Pisces. Of course, all the signs are creative. We're just talking about a certain type of energy backing those creative energies that are possible for everybody, right? But this is really nice to see, and just in these two cards, you can see that there's movement and progress here, and things are now going upwards, right, on the up and up. So again, that's really nice to see here for you, Aquarius. And also balance, right? When we talk about the star, she's got, much like the Temperance card, 1 foot on land and 1 foot in the water. Okay, so balancing between the 3D physical world, as an example, and the 5D spiritual world, okay, and bringing those things together. So that is really nice. I might put the incense out if it gets too much. I try to have the wind direction of the incense go with the window being open, but I don't know, it's kind of coming like right at me. So anyway, side note, okay, let's keep going forward here, Aries. So now we get to your third card, your third week, okay, which could be from around, right? It's not set in strict parameters. It can be a little bit before, a little bit after, but we're saying it could be from around September 14th through September 22nd. We have another really nice energy here for you, Aries. We have the Four of Staves, or the Four of Wands. Okay, this is a celebratory energy. It talks about unions. It can talk about marriage for some, or whatever union highest level that means for you, for the people who aren't ready to get married or don't believe in marriage or whatever, right? But it also doesn't have to just be romantic unions. It can talk about work partnerships, unions with friends or family, or even self-love, different parts of yourself coming together. And I'm super far away, so I'm going to come a little closer because I want you to see the details of this card a little bit more, okay? So there's these Egyptian couple, I guess you could call them, or just two Egyptian people talking, okay? But they feel really comfortable. Let me see, it'll focus. There we go. They feel really comfortable with each other, okay? So they're at this party, okay? And we don't really see anyone else around, but they're talking really deeply and they're being vulnerable and comfortable with each other, okay? So that's also another energy that could be showing up here. So perhaps Aries, by the middle of September, you're feeling more relaxed, comfortable, or wanting to celebrate something or multiple things that you can celebrate, or just working on your intimacy and being more relaxed with someone or with multiple people, general environment situation. But this is really nice to see, right? And they got their cheese and their wine and all that good stuff too. So let's keep going though, because your reading is pretty straightforward here for the rest of it. Excuse me, but I do want to talk about everything and give enough time to the other signs as well. Okay. So when we get to your fourth card here, we're talking about the fourth week, which could be from around September 23rd through September 28th. Okay. You just turn this down a little bit with the commercials. All right. And so remember how you started off with the King of Swords in reverse, a little bit of energetic blockage. Well, your last card and your first card, you can see the movement and transition, because now you have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position. So that's really beautiful. So there could be this energy here, Aries, where you are stepping into your power, more confident. You could be leveling up in some area of your life, right? Whatever that may be for you, work, with a romantic partner, with friends or family, etc. But it's really about also remaining humble, or remaining not as closed off to others and to yourself. Because normally in the tarot, the Queen of Swords is known as somebody who's very clear cut and calculating, and she's not the Queen of Cups, right? So the cups are emotions. She's the Queen of Swords, the logical mind, the crown chakra. But here, the way that this card is depicted is you see this Japanese queen standing over one of the islands in Japan, right? But she's smiling and waving and kind of laughing at them. So she's trying to interject, or this is what the meaning of the card is saying, is that you can be logical, you can be organized, you can be in a position of power or authority, or stand in your power and stand in your royal energy, right? But you can also not be completely cut off or seen as that, right? You can still be humble. You can still, put a little bit of some lighthearted energy there. But either way, it's really nice. These last three cards are beautiful here, Aries. But let's dig down a little bit before we go forward to your last tarot card over here and find out why this Queen of Swords showed up in the right position, in the upright position here for you, and go back a little bit in time in the past energy. Okay, so we're talking about the past sponsor energy cards that made it possible for this Queen of Swords in the right side up position to show up. So what we have in the past, and again, it could be a couple days ago, weeks, months, years, etc., whatever it is for you. We have the King of Staves, also known as the King of Wands, showed up on the top of your deck. And then we have the Six of Swords over here in the reverse position on the bottom of your deck, okay? So, of course, we've got some fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy here. And then we have air sign energy, right? So it could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, okay? But doesn't necessarily have to mean anything to you, just pointing it out, okay? So when we talk about this King of Wands or King of Staves in the past position, this is somebody who is very courageous, right? They're very passionate. They're really strong, or they appear to be that way to others, right? Because we see the lions on both sides of the king here, but he also has this kind of silent confidence to him in his expression in the drawing of the card itself, okay? And then on the other side, I'm sorry, on the other side here, Aries, there's this energy of the Six of Swords in the reverse position, and that's a really good reversal to get, okay? So that's talking about somebody in the past was like, you know what? I know that I've let certain things stress me out, or having more anxiety, worry, overthinking, and I know I need to balance that out and integrate it with also my heart chakra and my emotions. And so they started to, or you started to here in the past, Aries, integrate those things. And that's kind of what made it possible again for this Queen of Swords in the right side up position to come out, who is now like, you know what, I am the boss, right? Of at least my own life, of course, if you're not a boss of others directly, okay? Again, staring and standing in your own power, your royalty energy here, and being confident and also remaining humble and a little lighthearted. You can do both of those things, okay? So very nice to see here for you, Aries, but let's keep going and talk about your last tarot card here. And I'm just going to turn the music back up a little bit. All right, so now we're talking about your fifth tarot card here, and this is your tarot confirmation card that's going to come in, and it's confirming all four cards here on the top, all 4.5 to 5 week time period that this reading is for, right? And so this confirmation card is a combination of, let's say, past energy and future energy. None of this necessarily is set in stone. It's the energy we're picking up as of right now today when I'm doing the reading, right? And you always, of course, have free will. But this card is really like saying, if you want to stay on this trajectory, on this path, that this is kind of the message on how to possibly do that, okay? So what we have is a really nice reversal here for you. For some of you guys, right? We're different for everyone since it is a general reading. But we have the Four of Swords in the reverse position as your tarot confirmation card, okay? So this is nice because it's saying that somebody, if it's you yourself, Aries, or another person that you're dealing with, or general environment, is now coming out of this resting period, right? Where they were putting something to rest, or you were putting something to rest, and you were trying to figure out how to be less stressed out, or they were the general environment, and now you're coming out of that, okay? Or now they're coming out of that, or the whole environment is coming out of that, okay? And so that's really nice to see, right? Because of course we want, again, the mental clarity and also the heart chakra and the emotions, right? So if you look at it, even you're reading just like this, the beginning of your reading, the first card, the last card, these are all swords cards, right? So intellect, logical mind, crown chakra. And then over here, we could say these are more heart chakra cards, okay, with the star and the Four of Spades or Four of Wands in the right side up position. So it's like they're all coming together here. So that's beautiful, right? We didn't necessarily have Libra energy here, but if I look at my astrology notes real quickly, well, yeah, technically starting on the 22nd, and that's that last row, right? We shift from Virgo to Libra as the season. It will be officially Libra season during this fourth card here for you. And we do have a new moon in Libra on September 25th. So even though you didn't get like a Libra card here, we do feel that, astrology influence, or I feel it anyway and see it, okay? So with all that being said, Aries, let's get you your little oracle card before we switch over to Taurus. So this is your oracle message for this time period, or even beyond, whatever you want to do with it, right? So this is the Rebecca Campbell Starseed Oracle deck. And so the message you got here is, it says, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in more easily? And then we see this woman in the center here. She's kind of covering her eyes like this, not all the way, but a little bit like peekaboo. And then we see her image reflected 2 other times in the background. And then we see kind of like this pyramid, Illuminati, third eye kind of thing in the background. Okay, so it's like, yes, are you dimming your light? And I apologize, I got a little damage on the card, but you can still basically read it. Come a little closer here. Okay, so it's basically saying, how are you dimming your light to fit in? And why are you doing that if you are doing that, right? So don't cover your eyes, don't block the light, use all that's available to you, okay? So that is your little oracle message here, Aries. And I hope you got something from this reading. And you can always feel free to reach out and let me know how it goes if you feel comfortable. All right. So thank you. All right. To the people who are now tuning out if they only wanted to watch the Aries part. So we're going to go ahead and do some shuffling and flip over to Taurus here. And we're at 25 minutes basically. All right, so let's do that. Yes, Taurus. Okay. And again, I will be posting timestamps of all the signs before and after the shuffling if I did any shuffling on screen for some people who don't necessarily want to watch that. And guys, let me know too in the comments if that's something that you like to see or you don't like to see. It always helps when I hear from you guys. All right, but otherwise I'll just keep doing it, I guess. So, all right, let's go ahead and put these cards in here. Let them charge for just a moment with the crystals. Clear the energy with the smoke as well. That little frankincense. I think this one is frankincense and rose or something. It's really nice. Obviously, you can't smell it, but frankincense is really good, much like sage or Palo Santo for clearing energy. And yeah, it's just a little easier sometimes as far as burning it because it comes in sticks, you know, that you can put in an incense holder as opposed to the Palo Santo ones that are really thick that you have to put in a bowl, or even the sage that, you know, you have to put in a bowl and sometimes it doesn't always stay lit. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. Okay. So let's do a little sound bell here to, again, clear the Aries energy and tune in into the Taurus energy and help us refocus and kind of get back into, yeah, receiving the messages from Spirit. All right. Getting the downloads, right? Okay. So again, if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just listen, but it will be loud for a little bit. So just be aware. All right, so here we go, Taurus. All right. It's still singing each other. I don't know why I start like whispering, but it's just like, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start with these guys and do some shuffling here and see what comes out for Taurus. Incense, go that way, please. Yeah, that's definitely not going to help, but that's okay. All right, so spirits, guide my hands, messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull, for August 28th through September 28th, Taurus. What does Taurus need to see? What does Taurus need to know for their highest vibration? Messages for Taurus. Messages for Taurus. For August 28th through September 28th, Taurus. Messages for Taurus. For their highest vibration. What do they need to see? What do they need to know, Taurus? Spirit, guide my hands. Help me be a clear and effective channeler. Channel messages from you, spirits, for the greater good of all. And all that interact with this reading in any way. Spirits, messages for Earth sign Taurus for August 28th through September 28th. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Earth sign Taurus, the bull. Spirits, messages for Taurus. One more card, please. Spirits, messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull, for August 28th, or September 28th. All right. So let me just double check real quickly how Spirit wants these. Looks like we got one reversal, but let's just double check. Spirit seems like he stays in the position as the first here. This Taurus reading. Seeing the 7 sacred circles in the right side of position as the second tarot card for this Taurus reading. Spirits do want the 7 of staves in the right side of position as the third tarot card for this Taurus reading. And Spirits do want the 10 of each card in the reverse position as the fourth tarot card for this Taurus reading. Okay, never mind. They don't want it reversed. So I do what they say. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and take what's on the top and the bottom of the deck as well. And put that just up here for a moment. And switch over to the other deck. All right. Spirits, guide my hands, messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. For August 28th through September 28th, Taurus, Earth sign Taurus, the bull. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration, Taurus? Spirits, guide my hands. All right, we got that. It came out like that. Real fast. Okay, so let me just double check. They want it. Spirits do want the position. Yep, they want it. Okay, so then we also do the same thing with this deck. We take the top and the bottom, right? Okay, and move on to the last one, a little oracle card. Just put that there for now. All right, spirits, guide my hands, messages for Taurus. Earth sign Taurus, the bull, for August 28th through September 28th. One card, please. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration? Messages for Earth sign Taurus, the bull. All right. Spirits, do you want to do? All right. So that was quick. They wanted that. I love it. I like it when it's quick and straight to the point. Okay. So let's figure out where exactly they want all these cards, and then we'll take the picture and we'll get started. So put them all lined up here. Interesting. Well, not sure where they want them, but maybe that one goes there. We'll start there. Feeling maybe they want this too with this one, but let's double check. All right, real quickly. Sorry, guys. Spirits, do you want the star and the Two of Cups in the right side up position? We talked about when we talked about the 7 of staves in the right side up position. Okay, so they said yes for this one. Let me double check with that one because it's a little more tricky. All right, spirits, do know the might, respect and reverence before, after, and during. Thank you for all advice, wisdom, and guidance given, and thank you, of course, for listening. Spirits, do you want to talk about the 6 of Pentacles in the right side up position and the 9 of Pentacles in the right side up position when I talk about the 3 of Pentacles in the right side up position? No. Okay, they don't want it there. So good to know. Oh, maybe they want it here. I don't know if I can fit them all like that, but let's kind of makes more sense there. Let me double check here. So here's when we talk about the 6 of Pentacles in the right side of position, and the 9 of Pentacles in the right side of position. We talk about the 10 of Pentacles in the right side of position. Okay, so they do want it there. All right, good times. All right. So let's go ahead and take a picture and then we will get started. Yes. Okay. You just make sure we got it. Sweet focus. Yes. Okay. So what time are we at now? 35 minutes. All right. So I'll make a mental note of that. So Taurus, let's get into your reading here. Okay. So it looks like some good stuff coming out for you. Okay. And maybe part of it is in the past or all of it could be in the past, right? It is a general reading. So it will be different for everybody. But if you're just tuning in and you didn't watch the shuffling, no big deal. That's totally fine. But we're going to talk about the placements of the cards. And this is going to be a general reading. So if we cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, money, etc., all those things. Okay. And it could be about you, Taurus, or the person you're dealing with, multiple people, a general environment situation. Always keep that in mind as well. So the first four cards at the top of the row here. And of course, after the live, I will be posting the photo I just took. So later, if you want to, all you have to do is click in the description box below. Excuse me, and follow the instructions there to get the photo if you want to see all the cards, excuse me, together, all, in more detail at the same time. Of course, I will be showing them to you on screen while we're doing the reading. But so back to what I was saying, the placements of the cards, right? So for each four of these cards, it can correlate to a week or so time period, right? It can be a little bit before, a little bit after. It's nothing set in stone. But the first card can be energy from last week, so from August 27th through September 3rd or so. The second card is the week we're in now. So from around September 4th through September 13th or so. The third card can be from around September 14th through September 22nd. And the last and fourth card in the top row here is from possibly around September 23rd through September 28th. So I'll talk about the times again when we're on each of those cards. But let's go ahead and also call out any other zodiac signs as far as the major arcanas here in your reading for the people, some people who are interested in that, okay? So we've got Aquarius energy and we've got Sagittarius energy. And that's pretty much what we have since we only have two major arcanas and there's nothing wrong with that, good or bad, right? We're just noticing it, okay? So we got Sagittarius energy with the Temperance card, and we have the Star card, Aquarius energy. So it could mean for some of you guys that doesn't necessarily resonate, and that's totally fine. Then just put it aside, right? For other people, it could be you're dealing with a Sagittarius or you're dealing with an Aquarius, sun sign Sagittarius, sun sign Aquarius. It could be, if it's not that you have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart or a lot of Aquarius in your chart, or the other person does, multiple people, general environment, whatever. They're not really general environment. I don't know why I said that. Okay, take that last part out. The last thing it could be is a reference to a time period, right? So Sagittarius season coming up this year, or Sagittarius season last year, or Aquarius season from last year, or Aquarius season coming up this year, whatever it is, okay? So yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind if it does resonate, okay? Now, the other thing, and I think I forgot to do this for the Aries reading, but that's okay. It's all, part of the plan, as they say. But let's talk about what is the majority of your minor arcana here in your reading. That can be another underlying theme. Okay, so you've got lots of pentacles here. Let's count. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably what it's going to be, but we'll double check with the other ones. You've got 2 wands and you've got 1 cup, and then the rest are the major arcana. So it's definitely the pentacles, right? Because you've got 4 of those. So what do pentacles represent? They represent, of course, money and wealth, but they represent our value systems, right? So am I being valued enough? Is the other person as well, or multiple people, general environment situation? And how do I, or how do they also value my time? Okay, because right, time is money. Okay, so there's just kind of a background thing that could be going on with the reading as well, talking about values and time. and how we value our time with people and our own time, etc. All right. So now let's go ahead and call out the rest of your cards in order here as far as the first four cards. So Taurus, you have the King of Staves in the right side up position, also known as King of Wands. You have the Seven of Sacred Circles, also known as Seven of Pentacles in the right side up position. You have Seven of Staves in the right side up position, also known as Seven of Wands. So you got two sevens here. If you're into numerology, you can always check out what that may mean. I'm not really into numerology, so I don't even know, can't remember offhand what sevens talk about. But anyway, maybe I'll look it up at the end, towards the end of your reading. All right. And then we keep going to your last card in the main four here. You have the Temperance in the right side up position. Okay. So let's see what we have here for you, Taurus. And I'm sorry if I called you Aries earlier. We just finished Aries, but I keep hopefully saying that it's Taurus because it's your reading here, Taurus. Okay. So we start off with your first card the first week, which could be last week or so, right? So again, August 27th through September 3rd. And you do have, right, remember how I said you have Sagittarius energy here? Well, here you have it again. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, could be any of the fire signs, right? But we have the King of Staves in the right side of position, also known as King of Wands, right? And so this is a very abundant energy. It's for momentum and progress, right? It is somebody who is very passionate and creative, but also they're really strong, or they appear to be very strong, right? With both the lions, Leo the lion on each side, okay? And he's got a nice expression on his face, which also kind of shows like the silent confidence energy going on here. Now, when we talk about your first card here, Taurus, in particular to the whole reading, but more so even with the first card in general, this could be energy from the recent past. So not just last week, right? It could be even further back than that, whatever that means for you. So it could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. Okay. But it is a nice, stable energy there. Okay. A lot of fiery energy. Okay. And when we move forward, though, we're getting to your second card the week we're in now, where I'm filming this, right? There is more earth sign energy since you, Taurus, are an earth sign, right? So when we talk about pentacles or sacred circles, we're talking about you, Taurus, but we're also talking about Virgo, right? It's Virgo season, okay? And then we're also talking about Capricorn for some, okay? But just put that aside if it doesn't apply, all right? So your first your first seven card, because you have two sevens back to back, is the Seven of Sacred Circles, also known as Seven of Pentacles here, Taurus. This is a really nice energy. Speaking of abundance, right? Because Pentacles, Sacred Circles, we're talking about money and wealth, but not just that, whatever you want to manifest in your world, nice earth sign energy, just like yourself, wherever Taurus is in your chart. If you're not a sun sign, rising sign, moon sign, Taurus, okay? But it's planting the seeds for the future, right? So here we see kind of a Thanksgiving-like spread, or somebody storing the seeds and the grains for the winter, okay? So it's a nice number. We're talking about 7, and in tarot, 10 is the highest. So it's not 10 yet, but it's really close, right? It's not 4 either, okay? So it's like almost there to getting to some kind of crescendo culmination of energy here, okay? But it is in a nice position, and again represents for momentum and progress and abundance. So you know, that's really nice here for you guys, Taurus. Now, as we move forward, because there's not too much else to say about that card, right? We have your second 7, and this is for the time period of possibly next week, a little bit before, a little bit after, right? It's different for everybody. But we were saying the third card can be from around September 14th through September 22nd. The 7 of Staves, also known as 7 of Wands, okay? And this is really nice energy, talking about some type of spiritual initiation, a spiritual rite of passage, something along those lines, okay, for some of you guys here. And we're talking about the wands or the staves, so that does represent you know, energy, fire sign energy again, right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but also we talk about it in the positive aspects of the defenses are where they need to be. Your defenses, the other person's defenses, general environment's defenses, they're not too high, they're not too low. Like they're just in that right kind of even, nice area. And so it makes it possible for somebody who wants to ask the divine, ask their higher powers, ask your guardian angels, the spirit guides, whatever you want to call it, right? So in the center of this card, if you can see in the middle there, there's a little tiny person who's praying in this Egyptian temple, right? But the main thing is they have their arms open and their palms open, ready to receive. Okay, so that is that spiritual initiation, spiritual download, spiritual revelation, right? Of being like, you know what? I'm going to ask for help. I'm also going to remain grateful. And I'm going to ask those deeper kind of questions here. So that's really beautiful. And again, it's in that positive vibration of that card. So that's really nice to see. So Spirit wants me to dig a little bit deeper into this card and possibly why it came out this way here for you. And so we're going to talk about past energy, what's on the top and the bottom of the other deck, that tarot deck that we're using to get even more insight. Okay. So what we have here for you, Taurus, is on the top of the deck, you have the star in the right side up position, okay, Aquarius energy from the past, right? And then on the bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Cups in the right side up position. So this is really beautiful. So it looks like here in the past, Taurus, I was about to say Aquarius, but now you're Taurus, there was this youthful energy that was looking forward to the future, being more inspired and creative, working through the emotions in a positive way. Okay, so we've got water over here in the star energy, right? But we also have water potentially in the cups. And what does the water in tarot represent? Our emotions. So in the past, in some way, what made it possible for this future, current, present energies, possibilities of that spiritual initiation, getting on a higher, deeper level, more in touch with your spiritual side, asking the spiritual questions, right? Is because in that past, we had some type of union, whether it was romantic, with friends or family, or different parts of yourself coming together with self-love that was very supportive of the emotions. Each person, each party, each energy was giving the same back to each other, back and forth, right? And so we're talking about also, when we talk about the Two of Cups, it's like higher vibrational love. So that union in the past, whatever kind of union it was for you, again, was like bringing out the best in each other, or bringing out the best of these two energies in general, if it wasn't necessarily a person. Okay, but again, these two cards made it possible for this spiritual new level coming up here for you. So that's beautiful, right? Like, who wouldn't want that? I like it. So I can't remember exactly where I have Taurus in my chart, but I'm going to go check after this reading for sure. Double check. Okay. So moving forward here, Taurus, let's talk about your fourth card. And now we're talking about the fourth 4.5 to 5 week time period for this reading, right? So the fourth card we said could be energy from around September 23rd through September 28th, right? But we have that Sagittarius energy with the Temperance card in the right side up position. So this card is all about patience, right? It's kind of similar to the Star card that you had in the past, right? So both of these women are taking water and transmuting the water and the emotions. Both of these women have 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water, right? So if we talk about it in that way and compare it to these other two cards that came before it, or even actually all 3 cards that came before it, if I can hold all of them. These are all go, 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 fast energy. And this is a slowed down energy. It's still in the positive frequency or vibration, right? But it's more the hermit. It's more the high priestess energy, if you're familiar with tarot. So it is, again, transmuting the emotions in a positive way before making a decision, let's say, or just before getting to the next part of your journey or continuing on in your journey. So it's telling you to remain patient and to strive for balance, right? So we could say that the water is the 5D spiritual world, our heart chakra, our emotions, and the land, we could say, is a 3D physical plane or world. Okay, so it's again kind of slowing down but striving for balance. So let's dig in a little bit deeper. This is where Spirit wanted me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck here, Taurus, to again get even more insight about maybe why this why this Temperance card, Taurus, came out for you. Oh my God. All right. So again, when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom, we're talking about past energy. So these two bigger cards are the past energy that made it possible for this Temperance card to come out in the right side up position in the future current possible energies, probabilities. Okay, so here we have the balance aspect, which was on the top of the deck, the Six of Pentacles in the right side up position, Libra energy, right? And then here, over here, we have the Nine of Pentacles in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck, Earth sign energy, right? And so what we're talking about, again, I said in the beginning of the reading that there was this underlying theme of values, right? So maybe it was more in the past, but you did have 4 Pentacle cards total. So 2 were in the future, current present energies, and 2 were in the past. Okay, so of course during Mercury retrograde we could be going over things again about, am I being valued enough, am I valuing the other person, people, general environment enough, vice versa. Okay, so that's a side note. But when we go back to the Six of Pentacles in the right side up position, this is about paying it forward. Okay, so here we see this old man. He doesn't have a lot of money, right? But he wants to share some. If it's not about money, again, time is money, right? Knowledge is time and money, right? So if you're not necessarily in the past giving back money, you could be giving back a knowledge that you're sharing and teaching someone else a skill that you already know how to do. Or you're giving back your time to help someone who's an elderly person or someone that needs help in any way. So it's again saying, thank you to the universe. I'm grateful for what I have, even though it's not the most I could have. And so I want to share a little bit of my time or my money or my knowledge in some way. Okay. And when this person, if it's not you yourself here, Taurus, did this, or if it wasn't a person at all, it was just an energy. But when this happened in the past, it paved the way to, again, increase those pentacles. So you go from 6 to 9. Okay. So in the past, right, we have the Nine of Pentacles here, and this is the woman of skill, determination, and focus, right? She's building her abundance, her money, her wealth, but also whatever she wants to manifest in her life, okay? And she's almost at 10, right? She's at 9, almost at 10. She's got her falcon, that's the skill, determination, and focus that sends out the message to the universe, right? That carries a little note in its mouth or whatever, on its leg, whatever. I guess it's not in its mouth, but maybe. I think it's on its leg, but anyway. Okay, so this is, again, about almost being in the past and ending a new beginning. So when it shows up here with the Temperance card towards the end of September here, Taurus, it could be saying, even though you want something to be over and perhaps you want some type of leveling up in some area of your life or multiple areas of your life, the Temperance card is showing up here and telling you to slow down a little bit or to be okay with the energy slowing down. There's still some kind of balance that needs to be factored in before this Nine of Pentacles in the past can turn into a 10 of Pentacles in the future. Okay, so it's just really saying embrace slowing down a little bit and working on the balance before moving forward. Okay, so that's not so bad, right? I mean, my God, it is Mercury retrograde. And it is, right, also the ending of the year. We're starting to slowly get to the end of 2022. So even if it's not necessarily winter time where you're at, or the beginning of fall or winter, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still for everyone kind of getting towards the end of 2022. So that kind of energy does make sense in that way. Okay. And because you're a Taurus, right? Slowing down and being more patient is actually something that is more aligned with your energy of slowly being more stable and building those things because you're not a fire sign, right? Or you're not an earth sign. I mean, shit, you are earth sign. I meant to say air. You're not an air sign. You're not a water sign, right? You're an earth sign. So it is about slowly organizing and stacking things and letting it slowly move and build and build and build. So even though it might be frustrating for you in the long run, it is possibly going to be a little bit more easier for you because you are an earth sign. Okay. Well, all that being said, let's talk about your last tarot card here. This is your tarot confirmation card, Taurus. It's going to come in and confirm all four of these cards, all 4.5 to 5 week time period that we're talking about, right? August 28th through September 28th or so. All right. And so the card you got for this time period, well, before I say what it is also a combination of past and future energies. So it's kind of saying if you want this nice pathway and trajectory to go the way that it's laid out right here, right now, this may be something that you need to work on or think about or continue to do, what have you. Okay. So the card that showed up here for you, Taurus, is the Three of Pentacles in the right side up position. This is the teamwork card. Okay. So here we see this man who's working on some stone work, right? And these three other people are watching him. We have also a tiger or a leopard in the background. Okay. So this that is more about the Druid Celtic side of this deck. So I won't necessarily go into that because I don't know it in detail. Okay. My knowledge is not there, but I just wanted to say what was in the card. Okay. But the regular aspect of the card, putting that little cultural part aside, right, is these people, they could be the architects, they could be the sponsors that gave this man the stone. They're like, hey man, I'm going to pay this certain amount of money to put this, edge this into the stone, or whatever you call it. Yeah, put it into the stone, this imagery that I want you to do it. So they're there being the sponsors, they paid for it, but also they could be really judging harshly what he's doing because they're not physically doing it themselves. So they all need to work together, right, to get to that common goal. So that could be, another message here for you, Taurus, that if, right, you're working with multiple people, or even if you, okay, own your own business and you don't work with a lot of other people, you still have to work with the public. You still have to work with your customers, right? If we're talking about work. If it's relationships, of course, relationships are all about teamwork and not just being selfish, right? So you can apply it to wherever it may mean the most for you, but it's really about coming together and working together. Based on your other cards, sometimes the Three of Pentacles can talk about a third party energy, but I don't see it for the majority of you like that, because your other ones were all really, there wasn't too many energetic, or there was no energetic blockages in your reading at all here. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a third party energy, but it could be for somebody, right? So third party energy is, of course, three people, three energies that are conflicting. So if you're only two people or two energies, it can go a little more easily, right? It's easier to deal with. Next time you add another person, it makes things more complicated to find a common ground, right? To work together, all that stuff. So a third party or a third person can be an interfering energy or person that is in a romantic sense or in a work partnership, friends or family, or whatever, okay, whatever it is. But it doesn't necessarily always mean, if you're talking about romantic, that the other person is cheating with another person. It could be they're a workaholic. It could be that they have some addictions to substances or a mindset or what have you, right? But again, I wouldn't worry too much about that, Taurus, because based on all of your other cards, that's not what I'm picking up. If anything, if you could say the third party energy aspect of this card is, again, just making sure nobody's being selfish. Not only you, but the other people that you work with, right? The other people that are a part of this teamwork aspect of this card. So again, whether it's in personal relationships with friends or family, romantic, or in work stuff. Just kind of all try to find the common good and ground, so you can keep that forward momentum and that progress and all this positive energy going forward. All right, so Taurus, before you go, or before we switch over, of course, to Gemini, we're going to talk about your little oracle card here that showed up for you during this time period or even beyond, right? And this is the Rebecca Campbell Starseed deck, I believe. Anyway, the message that you've got here, Taurus, is deep re-nourishment, okay? I mean, not nourishment, replenishment is the same kind of thing. Deep replenishment. Okay, and we see this woman by some kind of body of water. There's stars in the background. Let me get closer here. But basically it says retreat, rest, and be held. Okay, so retreat, rest, and be held. Okay, so that's beautiful, right? And you could definitely, of course, apply that to anything, any time frame. But I would put it with the temperance card, right? Of having that patience. So if it's hard to be patient towards the end of the month or even the beginning of October, right? Then just use that time to, again, strive for more balance, regroup, release, replenish, retreat, rest, be held. Okay. So very nice. That is what I have for you, Taurus. Thank you guys so much as always. And I always forget to talk about it or mention it till the end. And sometimes I can't talk by then or I just don't say it right. But if you do like this video and you want to like it, it does help the channel. It's a free way to support. And it also tells me that you vibe with the video, of course, but also it tells YouTube's algorithms to share it with other people. So if you want to, you can do that. And if you haven't already and you want to subscribe, that is free too. Of course, you just have to have your little YouTube email address already set up. And then when you hit the subscribe button, it just notifies you when I put out new readings. All right, so thank you guys. Let's now go ahead and switch over to Gemini. Yeah, all right. So let's throw these cards in here, let them charge with the crystal for a minute, and then we'll start shuffling and stuff. And what time are we at? Basically an hour and 3 minutes or so. So I'll make a mental note of that, and later when I put in the timestamps, I'll do that. So yes. All right. So let's throw these guys in here, girls and guys in here, whatever the cards in here. Okay. Oop, there we go. Get some crystal healing going on here. Okay. Something to drink real quickly. All right. Get some nice frankincense with the cards too, to clear the energy from the last reading. Okay. All right. So yes, Gemini. All right, let's start with the blue cards first. That's usually the one I like to start with for whatever reason. All right. Wait, we need a sound bell. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Let's do our sound bell real quickly to also release the energy of Taurus and turn into the Gemini energy and reading. All right, so just be aware it's a little loud for a second. If it bothers you, but it won't be too long. So, okay, Gemini. Gemini. Yeah, Gemini. Okay. Now we can do our shuffling. All right. Yes. So, again, I hope everyone is doing well. If you're just tuning in, wherever you are in the world, right? So, messages for air sign Gemini, the twins, for August 28th through September 28th. Gemini. Spirits, guide my hands. Help me be an effective channeler. Channel the messages from Spirit, from you, to all those that interact with this reading in any way. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins, for August 28th through September 28th. What does air sign Gemini need to see, need to know for the highest vibration? August 28th through September 28th, Gemini. Spirits, guide my hands. 4 cards, please. Only. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini, for August 28th through September 28th. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Messages for air sign Gemini, for August 28th through September 28th. The twins. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini, for their highest vibration. One more card, please, spirits, for air sign Gemini, the twins, for August 28th through September 28th. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Gemini. All right, so let's figure out how Spirit wants these, and then we'll keep going. All right, so just give me a moment here. Circles in reverse position represent the second tarot card for this Gemini. Spirit symbol on the right side position represent the first tarot card for this Gemini. And Spirit, love and light, respect and reverence in advance, before, during, and after. Thank you, of course, Spirits, for listening. Any advice, wisdom, and guidance received. Spirits, do you want the 8 of Sacred Circles in reverse position represent the third tarot card for this Gemini reading? Okay. Spirits, just to confirm, you want the 8 of Sacred Circles in the right side of position represent the third tarot card for this Gemini reading. Okay. And Spirits, once again, thank you. Spirits, do you want the Queen of Staves in the reverse position to represent the fourth tarot card for this Gemini reading? Spirits, do you want the Queen of Staves in the reverse position to represent the fourth tarot card for this Gemini reading? Okay, so they want that. This is how they want it. All right. So yes, message received. So then we're also going to take the top and the bottom of the deck, right? Okay. Put this over here. And up and over so we can move on to the next deck. Okay. I don't like that. I want to kind of cover it to make sure I don't mess it up. All right. Okay. Thank you, Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins. Oh, not my hair though. Okay. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? For August 28th through September 28th, Gemini. Air sign Gemini. One card, please. Only, Spirits. Messages for air sign Gemini. For August 28th through September 28th. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini, the twins. For August 28th through September 28th. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration? Okay. And double check, that's what they want. Spirits, notice if the one and only tarot confirmation card for this Gemini. Okay, so they want it. So then we do the same thing. We take the top and the bottom, right? All right. And I'll put these over here. I do want to confirm with Spirit the top and the bottom, so they didn't do that yet. So let's do that real quickly, and then we'll take the picture, and then we'll get started. Oh, and I didn't get your Oracle card either, so let's do that now, actually. Before I forget. I was like, I knew there was something I forgot. Okay. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for air sign Gemini. One card for the spirits. For air sign Gemini. I don't know if I want that. Hold on. For August 28th through September 28th. For August 28th through September 28th. Air sign Gemini. Spirits guide my hands. What do you see? So for August 28th through September 28th. Air sign Gemini. Oh, okay, we got a whole bunch. I'm going to take the top one and make sure they want it, and then we'll go back to it. Okay. Spirits, handle card for this Gemini. All right, so they want it. That's good. We don't have to question it too much. Even though 2 came out, I just took the one on top, and that's what they wanted. All right, back to these to confirm, and then we'll keep going. So I kind of already placed them where the energetic blockages are, but I'll double check because they could be somewhere else that they want them. So let's find out. Okay. Spirits, you want me to talk about the 9 of Swords in the first position and the 2 of Staves in the first position. You want to talk about the 9 of Sacred Circles in the first position. Yeah. Okay. And Spirits, so you want me. Spirit says you want the 9 of in the reverse position to represent what's on top of this ancestral path tarot deck for this Gemini reading. And Spirit says you want the 2 of Staves in the reverse position to represent what's on the bottom of this ancestral path tarot deck for this Gemini. Okay, so those are confirmed. Just yes. All right, let's do these guys real quickly. Spirit, so you want me to talk about the Chariot in the reverse position, and the 4 of Swords in the reverse position when I talk about and Spirits, you want the Chariot in the reverse position represents on top of this tarot. Druid tarot. What is it called? Druid craft tarot deck for this Gemini. And Spirits, you want to talk about the 4 of Swords in the reverse position to represent on the bottom of this Druid craft tarot deck for this Gemini. Okay, cool. So they want it like that. That usually never happens that easily, but I will take it. So let's go ahead and take the picture and get this thing started. Okay, officially started. All right, so let me just make sure it's focused enough. Yeah, it's fine. All right. So Gemini, what time are we at? 1:13 or so. All right. Let's get into your reading finally here. Okay. And again, if you want to see the photo later of everything pulled out, I'll post it after the live. You just have to go to the description box, and it's really easy. I just put it on the Facebook. So anyway, let's go ahead and call out your cards here, dear Gemini. All right. So we're talking about the first row. Each card is going to correspond to a week or so time period, right? So from August 28th through September 28th. All right. So the first card is basically last week for some people. So it can be from around August 27th through September 3rd. The second card is the second week where we're at now when I'm filming this, right? So from around September 4th through September 13th or so. The third card can be from around September 14th through September 22nd. And the fourth card can be from around September 23rd through September 28th or so. Okay. So let's see what we have. Excuse me, this incense still is kind of bothering me, but I like it. All right. So Gemini, you have the Sun in the right side up position. You have the 9 of Sacred Circles, also known as 9 of Pentacles, in the reverse position. Then you have the 8 of Sacred Circles, or 8 of Pentacles, in the right side up position. And then you have the Queen of Staves, also known as Queen of Wands, in reverse position. And then we'll talk about the other cards as we get deeper in the order that they want. All right. So yeah, Gemini, let's also call out the other zodiac signs that we see here in your reading as well, for some people who are into that. All right. So obviously we've got some Leo energy here, and Cancer. So you have Just like the last two other readings, you have two major arcanas only. That's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just what we're noting, right? So we have the official Leo card here. Well, not the official. Let me take that back. One of the top Leo cards here. Okay. And then we have the official Cancer card over here, though. Okay. So what does that mean? It could mean that Gemini, you are dealing with a Leo or a Cancer. Sorry, I was trying to turn that down and it didn't work. What the hell? Okay, here's my murder retrograde starting. There we go. I was like, sometimes if I put too much stuff in the phone case, it doesn't turn down. Anyway, so what does the zodiac signs mean as far as the major arcanas? Why am I mentioning it, right? So you could be dealing with a Leo or Cancer. You could have a lot of Leo or Cancer in your chart, your birth chart predominantly, or the other person could, multiple people, or it could be referencing, let's say, the Leo season of this year or last year or the upcoming year. It could also be referencing the Cancer season of this year, of last year, or the upcoming Cancer season next year, or it means nothing at all. But I do like to mention it when I remember to mention it. Okay. So Gemini, let's keep going forward here though. So yeah, let's start off with your first card. And this card in particular can be talking about past energy, recent past, whatever that means for you. So it could be a couple days ago, months, weeks, years, etc. And also this reading can be about you here, Gemini, or it can be about another person, multiple people, general environment situation. So again, only take what makes sense to you and just push the other stuff away. Okay. All right. So we start off with the sun, right? Leo energy. Okay. So this is also about spiritual enlightenments, spiritual downloads, revelations, youthful energy, passion, creativity. Okay. So we see the sun here at the top of this Egyptian like pyramid, if you can see it. Okay. So again, that represents our crown chakra, the top of the pyramid, the top of our head, right? So if you think of where your third eye would be, right, it's in the middle of your other two eyes, right? Your unibrow, if you have one. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean, like right there. And so that is where we start to have, or a lot of cultures, different cultures believe spiritual energy is around the top part of our head. Okay. So this is very nice, regardless of whether what area in life or multiple areas in your life it may resonate from the recent past here. It could be about last week, of course, or again, even further beyond that. But it's nice. It feels good, right? Who doesn't want to be like the brightest card in the tarot deck? Okay. Or be around that energy if it's not necessarily a person. All right. But yeah, Gemini, let's keep going and see what else we have here for you. We do have, a little bit of an energetic blockage, but it's not a big deal because you still have some really good other cards here. We all have energetic blockages from time to time. Sometimes we have them back to back, right? And so you could call them an energetic blockage, or you could also call it a gentle reminder or a challenge, what have you. All right. But we're talking about the second card, the second week that we're in here now. All right. So again, this can be from around September 4th through September 13th or so. Okay. And it is the Nine of Sacred Circles, also known as the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position. So Gemini, this could be talking about some type of energy where your focus is off, or someone else's focus is off, or their determination or your determination, your skills are not where they would normally be or would be for the other person, multiple people, general environment situation. And remember, if you've been watching some of my other readings here, this is during the second week, the week we're in now, one day before Mercury retrograde is when I'm filming this, right? September 8th. Starts on the 9th. So a lot of these energetic blockages that have been showing up for other readings here can be, a lot of the collective unconscious energy of the Mercury retrograde. So if your skill, determination, and focus is off, it could be because of the retrograde, right? So Mercury is the planet, your ruling planet, Gemini, hello, yes, of course, that's going to be affecting you possibly more so than others, not necessarily, but it's like, yeah, people are going to misunderstand. Things are going to be taken the wrong way, perhaps. Things are going to be slowing down and going back over. So, again, not all retrogrades are bad. And we do have 5 total going on right now. So, that definitely is part of the collective unconscious as well. Okay, so the the retrogrades are about. I'm laughing because I say it all the time, and I feel like crazy saying it, but that's how I feel, right? So the retrogrades are about the redos, the revision, revise, rework, re-edit, all that, all the re's, okay? So that's here, okay? So again, if it's not you, Gemini, you could be one of the lucky ones, the lucky few, okay? Since it is a general reading, right? Where the Mercury retrograde maybe is not affecting you as much, but it could be affecting your environment with other people, okay? So just take it how it resonates. But let's kind of figure out maybe why this another aspect of why this card showed up here. Okay, so we're going to talk about these 2 cards on the bottom. So this is past energy that made it possible for this 9 of Pentacles and 9 of Sacred Circles to show up here. Okay, so what we have here for you, Gemini, is this past energy. We have the 9 of Swords in reverse, and which was on the top of your deck. I'm sorry. And we have the 2 of Staves, also known as 2 of Wands, in reverse on the bottom of your deck. Okay, so again, these 2 past energies made it possible for this future current energy of the 9 of Sacred Circles to show up in the reverse position. Okay, so the first one here, the one on the top, that's a good reversal. Okay, you want the 9 of Swords to always be reversed. That means that in the past, somebody started to let go, or an energy started to let go of a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking, just being way too much up in their head. Air sign energy, Gemini, you can understand what I'm saying, right? Or depending on where Gemini is in your chart or how much. But this is good. You want the 9 of Swords to be reversed. You want to be able to sleep at night and not have all this being overshadowed by the other aspects of our being, right? So our emotions, our heart chakra, our physical body, our spiritual body, all that other stuff, okay? So somebody started to do this in the past here, Gemini, or an energy started to do this. But then on the other aspect of it, with the 2 of Staves or 2 of Wands in reverse, somebody was like doing the good work, right, with the 9 of Swords in reverse, the good work of the Lord, whatever you want to call it, right? Okay, I'm just kidding, but for real. Somebody was doing this hard work here, and then they said, or you said, or the energy said, I don't want to do any people watching. I don't want to slow down. I don't want to integrate my emotions with my logical mind. So it's kind of conflicting because it's like on one side, someone's doing all the hard work and wanting to move forward and not be stressed out. But then on the other side, there's just like this reluctance or this energetic blockage or challenge where in the past, this energy was just like, I don't want to slow down. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just like, I don't want to slow down, or the energy didn't want to slow down. Or maybe it's like, I don't want to face my emotions. I don't want to learn from others. I don't want to compare myself to others. Something like that. Okay. So again, this could be why, not only with the Mercury retrograde going on, this 9 of Pentacles is in the reverse position. But it doesn't last long, right? So we're saying that these cards in the top row could be around a week or so time period, right? So it may feel like forever, but it's really not in the long view, the long haul, right? So let's kind of keep going here and see what happens, right? When we get to that 3rd week, the middle of September, look at that. You can see the transition just there. So you go from the energetic blockage of the 9 of Sacred Circles in reverse to now right side up, the 8 of Sacred Circles. So it's like you have to go back a little bit because it's not 9, now it's 8, but it's right side up. So now the energy is returning. Now there's forward momentum, there's progress, there's a little bit more positive energy free flowing energy. Okay. And things also start to pick up. So remember how I said maybe somebody just didn't want to slow down in the past in some way here? When you see the Eight of Sacred Circles or Eight of Pentacles, productivity is going to go up in whatever area of your life you're watching this reading for, right? So if it's about relationships, relationships are going to start hopefully getting easier. If it's about work, you're going to be really busy at work. If it's about your health is going to get better, right? Love, all that, whatever it is, okay? And this is also about learning a new skill or craft or a deeper level of a skill or craft that you already know, right? Because this woman is learning how to make the drums, and she's like got so many orders of drums, she doesn't even know what to do, right? They're just like, we need more drums. She's like, I'm making the drums, right? Okay. So really busy time period here coming up. So that's good. And I love to see it for you, Gemini. Okay. So let's keep going and see what else we got here for you. Move this back over here because it got all jumbled up. All right. So now we're coming to your fourth card, and this is like the fourth week that we said that could be from around September 23rd through September 28th or so. Okay, so like towards the end of the month, all right, even maybe the first week of October, different for everybody, right? But we have another bit of a little bit of an energetic blockage. It's not a big deal, right? But it is here for a reason because that's what Spirit wanted to show. Okay, so we have the Queen of Sacred Circles. I'm sorry, it is not the Queen of Sacred Circles. It is the Queen of Staves. All right. The Queen of Staves in the reverse position. Okay. So when we talk about staves, we're talking about wands, we're talking about our defenses, right? So in it, when this card shows up in the reverse position, it could be that somebody's defenses are not in the right place. It could be somebody's level of confidence is affected, right? Because we are talking about a queen. It could be somebody's, if they're in a position of authority over others, where they're a boss or a leader, their leadership skills could be affected during this week, this time frame. Something like that, okay? And it also could just be that there is some overwhelming emotions going on during this time that is making somebody's defenses either too high or too low. Okay, so again, if the defenses are too high, we're talking about somebody who's closed off. If defenses, and they could be a bully, right? If the defenses are too high. If the defenses are too low, we're talking about victim mentality, that kind of thing. Okay, so it will be different for everybody. But again, it's an energetic blockage. You still have another great card over here, so don't worry too much. Okay, but we just kind of talk about it, and then maybe you can even sidestep it before it even happens, right? So you always have free will, and things are always changing and flowing. So let's see why this card possibly came out in the reverse position. All right, so again, this is past energy, these two big cards, and the little card here is future, current, present energies as of today when I'm filming this. All right, so what we have is the Chariot, right, that Cancer energy in the reverse position on the top of your deck. And then what we have is the Four of Swords. I can't talk today. The Four of Swords, yes, in the reverse position on the bottom of your deck. Okay, so it looks like here, Gemini, in the past, there was some type of forward momentum was halted, right? When we have that Chariot in reverse, somebody's masculine and feminine side was not balanced. If it's a person, if it's you yourself, Gemini, another person, multiple people, or just the environment of where you live, where you work, etc. Okay, somebody's stuff was off. Okay, there was no balance. These two horses at the bottom, if the Chariot was right side up, we got masculine and feminine, one on each side. We all have those aspects within ourselves and within nature, right? But they weren't balanced in the past. Okay, so this halted some type of forward momentum or progress. Okay, but on the other side, this Chariot in reverse could have been a catalyst in some way, because then we have, excuse me, the Four of Swords in the reverse position. Okay, so that is like somebody now saying, I've done the rest that I needed to do. I've thought about lots of different things. I've been in my head or have been in my head, but I'm putting those things to rest. I don't want to have the anxiety, worry, overthinking. So they're coming out of that. So it's like a blockage coming out of the blockage and then still a blockage. So again, kind of my last sound piece, hopefully, for this reading about the Mercury retrograde is the Mercuries are the Rees, right? So this Mercury retrograde that's starting, it could be referencing the last time we had Mercury retrograde earlier this year, which was from May 10th to June 3rd. It could be referencing a Mercury retrograde time period of even last year. So if there was something going on that's related to relationships, health, money, love, it could be echoing that because there's a further thing that needs to be healed or a further thing that needs to be looked at, or it's like just triggering those things again or something like that. It's just kind of going backwards and being like, wait a minute, this is kind of maybe similar to what happened before. Or it's just the collective unconscious, okay? But let's keep going, Gemini, because like I said, you still have a really good card over here and your oracle card at the very end. So, okay. When we get to your last card here, the bigger one, right here, this is a confirmation card. It's coming in here and confirming all 4 cards we just talked about, all 4.5 to 5 week time period, okay? So this is a combination, the way I read it is a combination of past energy, future energy. It's like if you want this to stay the way it is, this is something you need to focus on. If you want to change the way that this is because there's a couple energetic blockages, this is the thing you need to focus on, or this is the message, right? All right, so what do we have here? Da-da-da, the wonderful 6 of Cups in the right side up position here, Gemini. All right, so this is all about the past in certain aspects, okay? So it can be a past like nostalgic feeling of childhood, if you had a good childhood, if the other person had a good childhood, or if you have a memory of this person and you knew them from before, whatever it is, okay? But it's equal, okay? So 6, 3, and 3 on each side, right? So it does have a little bit of Libra energy here. And we could say, right, officially towards the end of the month, we're transitioning from Virgo into Libra season. That could be part of the Libra energy showing up here, but not necessarily, okay? Because we all have Libra somewhere in our chart. But here we see these 2 kids, right? That's the childhood thing I was talking about. And so they're playing and they're happy. And the cups are all about our emotions, right? We drink water out of the cup. Our bodies are 90% water, as they say. Or I don't think it's actually 90%, but that's what people say. Anyway, we're mostly water, right? We're mostly emotions for some, right? And so it's like, let's look at the emotions in a positive way. In the past, how do I return back to certain aspects of myself? So it could be about inner child work. It could be about children that are present in your life right now, even if they're not your own children. It's just that childlike, youthful enthusiasm for life, right? But it also could be about what were my dreams when I was a kid or when I was younger. As long as there's positive and negative of every card, of every, even when it's in the right side up position. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the way to say it. So as long as we have the integration of the adult self with the inner child, then we're in a good place, right? So I look at it here for you, Gemini, like leaning into also again the Mercury retrograde, all the other 4 planets that are also in retrograde right now. Like let's go back in the past a little bit. What can I learn from the past, the good parts of the past, and bring that into the future? Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there because we could spend forever talking about that card and what it may mean, okay? But it will be different for everybody a little bit. So let's talk about your oracle card real quickly before we go. This is the Rebecca Campbell Starseed Oracle deck, I believe. But anyway, this is your message for this time period or even beyond. And it's a beautiful woman kind of flying through the air, and it says leap, okay? it makes me think of the Fool card, which is Gemini energy. That's you, right? It's not the Lover's card, which is your official tarot card, but the Fool does have some Gemini energy. So see, this woman is leaping, okay? And it says, you go first, the universe will catch you. How beautiful that is. Yay! All right, so that could be a little hint or extra message here for you. And real quickly, if I had to pair it with one of your tarot cards, um, I would put it with the Sun and with the Six of Cups. So your first card and your last confirmation tarot card, okay? Right, because we started off the reading with that energy of spiritual enlightenment, crown chakra energy, youthful spirit energy. We have youthful spirit energy here, inner child work, working with real children, right? Leaping, making a leap of faith. When I said it was like this oracle card, when I said it was like the Fool card, right? It's about making a leap of faith, not caring about what other people may think or even yourself may think of this decision, okay? Trust your intuition always over everything, right? And it's saying that the universe will catch you. So that's so beautiful. I love it. I hope you got something from this reading, Gemini. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your energy, for your likes and subscriptions. They're all great free ways to support the channel. So if you want to like this video, it helps share it with more people and lets me know too that you are vibing with it. And if you want to subscribe and you already have your email address set up with YouTube, it's another free way to just get notified when I put out new readings. But no pressure either way. So I hope you guys enjoy this time period and take care of yourselves. And I think that's it for me today, but I will be coming back tomorrow with the last two. Tomorrow we'll be doing Cancer and Leo. So if you want to join us tomorrow too. When I say us, I'm talking about me and Spirit, because they're like, what is she talking about? There's only one of her. I'm talking about Spirit. So if you want to join me and Spirit, whatever, hopefully you get what I'm saying. You're always welcome. So you guys take care and I'll see you later. All right. Bye. Bye.